Well, I should probably highlight myself too while I'm at it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wizard Room. I'm your host, TomatoGrass. Thank you for tuning into this episode where we talk about virtual pinball, high-scoring strategies, and show off some high-level gameplay. Tonight, since we're kind of in a lull of some releases for a couple weeks, even though we did get a lot in the last month, we're going to be talking about Attack from Mars, okay? I know it's a table that a lot of y'all have played. Attack from Mars is a classic Bally Midway table released in 1995. So you could say that table is as old as me, or if you want to do it the other way around, that table is as young as me, okay? But today we're going to be talking about that. Joining me is a great panel of guests. Let's go ahead and go around the horn. We got in the top right corner, we have got my man Scoaljo. Thank you for joining me. You were here last week. Here
What's up, guys?
Glad to see you, man.
Glad to be here, man. I'm excited to get into Attack from Mars. It's a machine I got, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. In the bottom right corner, the #1 Pinball FX VR player in the world, #1 on Attack from Mars with 125 billion points. That would be my friend NixReviews. How are you doing tonight, man?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Great. Happy you're here. And then in the bottom left corner, a new face for all of y'all who have been here for the first 2 episodes. That's my friend Spartycus. Spartycus, glad you could make it.
Hey, thanks for having me, TomatoGrass. Great to be here. And yeah, I'm ready to conquer the world.
All right, yeah, exactly, right. Well, we got to save all the cities, and then we got to take their ship and go to Mars. So, Attack from Mars. If you guys have never played this game, it's a classic, okay? And obviously, it's got to be pretty good. It was one of the highlights of the skins for the At Games 4K releases, and it's just a really well-designed, well-themed game, okay? So tonight we're going to discuss, obviously, how you get a high score, but before we get into some real nitty-gritty, we just a little overview of what the table is, right? So when you open up the table, you can see on the bottom, it's clear that there's 6 objectives, okay? Those 6 objectives are, you got to conquer Mars, which you do by destroying all the saucers. You get a total annihilation multi-ball, which you do by filling out all the ramps. You get super jets. You get a Martian multi-ball, which you do by defeating all the Martians in the Martian mode. You get a super jackpot in the regular multi-ball, and you have to do a 5-way combo. So what I want to do first is go over to Spartycus. Spartycus, of these 6 objectives, is there any of these that you find are particularly hard or harder than the others?
Yeah, actually, very good question. I actually ranked them in order from 1 to 6, if you don't mind. I'll go through the easiest to the hardest. And I find the easiest to get is the super jets. You'll just get them just by playing. And then Martian attack, once again, you'll get it from the stroke of luck, just randomly. And then total annihilation, if you have a few good balls, you'll just get it from hitting the ramps. And then we started getting into some problems. And the 5-way combo I find is tough to get to. Conquering Mars obviously is getting all the ships defeated, which you should be able to do. And then I think the hardest one on this is the super jackpot, because if you don't hit it on your first go, you're probably not getting it again. So yeah, that's by far. So yeah, super jackpot, and then the 5-way combo, 2 tough shots to get off the road in this one.
Yeah, definitely that super jackpot is difficult. And I'll say it's difficult on the 4K. And we will compare and contrast the 4K versus Pinball FX in a little bit. But man, that ramp that you have to hit and like to either start the you got to light in order to light the lock, you got to hit that full ramp first, or you get it awarded to you. But to get that super jackpot, you got to go all the way around. And dude, on the 4K, I don't know if it's just weak flippers or another facet of, the table is still, it definitely doesn't lag I don't think as bad as those Tomb Raider tables, but it's a little bit there. And that is like just little things like that. Like, it just compounds to the fact that where now you're trying to hit that ramp and it doesn't go all the way around. And I can't tell you how many times I've played this game, conquered Mars, and I'm sitting there and I got a super jackpot left or a 5-way combo.
Yeah.
5-way combo, like I honestly, like if you actually know how to do it and you go for the orbits and you just practice it, shouldn't be that hard. That super jackpot, I feel, is pretty hard to do. How about you, Scoaljo? How often, like, do you view like conquering Mars as really like your main goal in the game? And how have you ever gone through the whole thing? Have you ever ruled the universe?
I have ruled the universe. Conquering Mars is definitely the toughest one. I will say that even just getting to the super jackpot is tough, mostly because even just getting the regular multi-ball is tough. Getting up that ramp, you can't get up there from a cradled position. You got to hit the ball up that ramp on you got to get it with some momentum up there. That's definitely the toughest thing to do, is that super jackpot.
Right. So, Nix.
Yes.
Obviously, this is a guy that knows how to play the game. Okay, the guy's got 125 billion points. So, one thing that I've noticed whenever I watch your streams, whether it be Attack from Mars or anything, is that you are a master at multi-balls. Now,
yes,
when it comes to this game in particular, do you view multi-balls as more? You're like, that's how you're going to get super jackpots and get your score? Do you view them more as you want to get these multi-balls to destroy the saucers, or is it a little bit of both and it's situational?
I would say it's a bit of both. You don't necessarily have to conquer Mars to get the score of 125 billion. A lot of the score is from going into total annihilation and hitting the jackpots and then collecting that value by hitting the multi-ball lane and lock lane to collect it. That's how that works with the total annihilation. You can hit the ramps and lanes all day, but you don't collect it until you hit that one point. And that's easy to hit the ramps and jackpots. I recommend when you get on total annihilation, try to keep 2 balls at least on the table. And that way you can at least cradle and control and send 1 ball around the table to hit jackpot all the time, and then try to keep the balls under control and have a lot of aimed shots to get that score. And that's exactly what I did to get that score. So don't worry about going for the saucers. That's something that should be utilized with the multi-ball and not go on single ball. Activate it, hit it 3 times to get it to drop down, because you cannot drop down the shield when you're on multi-ball. So there is a little bit of risk because of the ball deflection. So you got to get good practice at hitting that and making sure the ball doesn't go down the middle, and just to get it opened up for every time you need to open it up to get through the table. But then once it's open, start your multi-ball, usually total annihilation, get that going, and just keep doing watch, rinse, and repeat.
Gotcha. And I think this is an important time to kind of point out some things about this game is that, going for that saucer, if you're just going for it willy-nilly, just like out of the blue, you're going to lose. And there's just no question about it. Hold on, hopefully I'm not lagging too much. But yeah, the problem is that saucer is right in the middle of the table. So like whenever you're going for that shot, if you hit it, even if you hit it like perfect, there's still a really good chance that ball is just going to squirt right down the middle. And one other thing that I want to point out is that there's actually 3 of multi-balls on this table, but the one is that strobe multi-ball, which is its own thing. But you got total annihilation multi-ball, and then you've got the regular multi-ball, which is the one where you're going to get your super jackpot that you have to. I don't think the jackpot that you get from a total annihilation counts as a super jackpot in your objectives. I don't think.
No, you don't. Super jackpots don't come up in the total annihilations, only during the actual multi-ball, not strobe multi-ball or the Martian multi-ball.
Martian multi-ball.
It's the regular multi-ball that you can.
There's another one. It has 4 multi-balls on this table. Holy cow! But yeah. But definitely, using multi-balls. If you're like Nick said, you don't have to conquer Mars. Although one thing that I will say is that on the 4K, you almost have to, just because of how hard it is to hit that multi-ball ramp all the way. It is very, very difficult. Okay, you'll hit it and you'll swear it's like I can't hit that any better, and it just comes up and it comes right back at you. Oh, and by the way, when it's coming back at you, it's coming down the middle. Yeah,
down the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I find like the most times I'm getting that light lock is sometimes through the stroke of luck, where I'll randomly get the light lock, and that just eases it up altogether. Because you're right, getting it all the way around that loop is next to impossible, I find, on the 4K.
Yeah, and so that's why I would say that on the 4K, I would say it's a lot more critical to be going for that conquer Mars and ruling the universe. Whereas like if I could totally just hit that ramp, like if I knew that if I hit it, it was going to be good, then I would probably, I wouldn't even worry about conquering Mars and ruling the universe, because I could just collect jackpots in there. But, I'm not totally making a case that it's way harder. I'm not making a case that Pinball FX is easy. That's not the way that I'm doing it. Like if I played Pinball FX VR, I'd be damned to get 125 billion. That's ridiculous.
I would really like to hear people's opinions who have the 4K machine and then go and play the VR. Like to me personally, I've got the HD machine, and I've played OTG mode Pinball FX, and I've played the At Games tables and Magic Pixel, and I find the latency is the best in VR. It's zero. It's like zero. Like it's like I can hit everything perfectly. There's no latency. Whereas when I play OTG mode on my At Games with the Pinball FX, there is latency that is noticeable right away as soon as I jump on it, and I have to adjust. And it's very difficult to play some of these tables at a high level because of how precise you got to be to hit that ball on the flipper.
And just even a little bit, you're not even just adjusting the timing, like a little bit, it makes the ball feel heavier. It makes the flippers feel weaker. It's not just the fact that, I just got to hit it earlier. It's like everything in your mind that you've learned playing pinball, it's like it's kind of working against you now, because like it's like you feel like, if I hit it this way, it's going to go up there, and then the ball comes back, and now the ball's coming down the middle, and now you got now you got to see the future, because you got just a little bit of lag. But I digress. At the end of the day, what I will say is Attack from Mars, as far as the Zen releases, is probably one of the least conflicting, as far as like when I played that Tomb Raider, like I was like, dude, I can't play it, lags. But Attack from Mars, when they did the lag fix, it was like the first one I fired up. I was like, yeah, I can play this. Can I get 125
That made a huge
billion?
difference.
Yeah. Can I get 125 billion? Probably not. But I can definitely play it, and I've been enjoying it.
That Lara Croft Adventures, you need to have precise timing. So I can understand why that particular table, especially out of the two, is unplayable when there's a little bit of latency with the flippers.
Yeah, it's like, because I think I got like 400 million on that, but it's like that was just like getting lucky, because like a big thing about that table is like you got to be able to react when the ball is going towards the out lanes. And if you've got a little bit of timing issues, like if the ball is not going out there, you know, you're going to do a lot better because you're not having to worry about it. So that's why I did that for about a half hour and got kind of lucky. But anyways, that is that one thing I do want to get into is extra balls on this table. I feel like, you know, with any game, the more balls, the better you're going to score. It's the bottom line, right? You know, if you've got 5 balls, you're going to score better than if you had 3. Now, I'm not saying every case, but a ball not only does it get you more, you can get more points. It's a lot better when you're playing and you've got that ball in your back pocket. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you know, it's not the end of the game. Like if I really screw up here, I'm still good. Whereas if you're on that last ball, it's like, dude, this game could end at any second. So extra balls on this table. I should have went and actually confirmed all of these, but I know of at least 4. So when you destroy the second saucer, you get an extra ball. You can get an extra ball in strobe multi-ball by getting 10 hits to the center. You can get an extra ball by getting 10 in-lane, like you complete the in-lanes 10 times.
Yeah, 10 times.
And then there was one. I forget. There was one other one. Nick, do you know where all the extra balls are?
Did you say that getting like the 3rd saucer? Like you have to.
The city. I know. It's the 2nd saucer at least.
What's the 2nd one? Yeah, you get in there. You definitely get one in as an award.
Stroke. You get one in stroke luck.
Stroke of luck.
Stroke multi. Strobe multi-ball. Yeah, stroke of luck is the lanes. Yeah, that's what that's called. Yeah, but strobe multi-ball. If you hit the center a bunch of times, you'll get an extra ball there. But
one thing,
and the video mode.
The 5th one.
Video mode.
The ED and the video and the saucers.
Yep. I've actually
it's tough. Yeah.
I've only completed the whole video. You don't have to complete the whole thing to get the extra ball. I've only completed the whole video mode once, maybe twice. And it's but like I said, you actually don't need to go through that whole video mode to get the extra ball. It's just like a lot of these classic Bally or Williams tables where you're going to see an EB show up and you got to hit that. It's like if you play the getaway, EB shows up on the road. And so like that one, you almost feel like when you get the video mode, it's like, dude, I need to get this extra ball. Like there's no excuse for me to not.
So while I was doing some research for this stream, I was looking up the rules for this, and a good source for, like, you can go into the menu and read the rules. They're kind of there. They're not all there. If you go to if you look up like the real rules for the original machine, I found that during that saucer mode, if you hit the launch button during the saucer mode, it automatically kills all the spaceships on the screen. So if you're in like panic mode, hit the launch, it'll destroy everything on the screen, and you're starting from scratch again. Like, so yes. I just learned that yesterday. I wish I knew that before, but like, that's a good tidbit. Hit that launch button when you're in panic. And
one thing I'll caution you about that, Spartycus, is I don't know if this is part of the rules, but as soon as you do that, those saucers start coming down at light speed. Like I swear that they start, like, you're hoping that when you do that, you're pretty far in there because because you know, like Nick's is doing over there. You're doing this, right? You're doing this.
Yeah, you want to.
Well, and that's giving you enough time. But as soon as you do that, where you use your bomb and all the saucers are gone. Now that ain't giving you enough time anymore.
You gotta hold off.
I'm saying use the bomb when you're seeing it's going to hit you have no choice. Like, use the bomb when you're
I'm not telling you not to do that. Absolutely, you have to. Yeah, and
that's
like,
how you get it.
I've done that a couple times, and like immediately after I do it, the extra ball shows up, and it was like, well, thank God I did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One other thing, Nix, I wanted to talk to you, or anybody on the panel, really. One thing I found, I don't know if this is a thing. Might not even be on Pinball FX VR, but I've seen it, okay, and I've done it a couple times. If you're going for a saucer, okay, like let's say you got the saucer, you're going for it, and you're in a multi-ball, any sort of multi-ball. If you are on your last shot of the saucer and you hit it, and before those drop targets, because you know as soon as you defeat a saucer, the drop targets come back up. If you hit a ball, if you hit a second ball in there, it defeats another saucer. Like, and when you do it, you're like,
you get like I
damn.
forget what it's called. It's like I forget what it is, but it is in the game. It is programmed, and it does say something. Oh God, someone in the chat can you type that in what that is? But I did get that when I played the table where I had 2 balls behind the gate, one to stick the table. And
I did it one time on accident. And I was like, that
on
was
a
cool.
multi-ball. Yeah.
And then I did it, and then I was like, I'm gonna try that again, like later on. And then I actually got it to work one time, and it did it again.
That's
and
it.
I was like,
dirty pool shot.
That's cool.
What it's called. It's called that. Someone in the chat, Mad Ben had. It's called dirty pool shot. That's what it is.
So that's something that there's no reason. I mean, you probably don't get as many points as you would if you had to go through the whole saucer. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're trying to conquer Mars, well, you're not really like, that's not a big deal, because there's way more points to be had in conquering Mars and getting ruling the universe than there is in just one saucer. And
then not only that, getting your multiplier up, because there's no cap, just like Medieval Madness. When you hit the top rollovers, just keep, because you're sending the ball up there anyway when you're usually on Total Annihilation. At least I do anyway when I'm on Total Annihilation. Especially when I got just down to 2 balls on that multi-ball. I'll just keep sending them up the orbits and just sending them up there and just increasing my multiplier every time they go up there. And if you can get your... I've had my multiplier up to 84 at an end-ball bonus, and then you get like this huge friggin' billions and billions of points for your end-ball bonus. So
that's so satisfying too, because I knew like when I was really getting into Twilight Zone, man, it's so satisfying when you've got like 80 hitchhikers or whatever the hell you get, and it's just like the screen's like, and it's like, okay, yeah, cool, I like that. So, all right, one thing that I want to get into before we end up getting into some gameplay here is we're gonna talk. It's just not exactly Attack from Mars related, but it has a little bit to do with it. Talking about nudging, guys. And it's funny because I'm actually looking at the chat over here, and I can see
they're all blowing up about
nudging. Okay, so one thing that Mikey posted in the chat here is saying that the nudge barely moves the ball in Pinball FX VR. I'm assuming that's what he means.
Yeah, I'll have to counteract that, because when it comes to nudging, and this happens not just with VR, and it also happens with the digital pinball as well. You have to nudge at the right time. Right, it's all about physics, the ball momentum, and you don't see it at times, especially with the plain silver ball. But if you get like the actual other balls within that, you'll see the ball spin, right, on the ball. Like pinballs spin. You don't see it on the silver ball. You can sort of see it if you're looking at close enough, but there's all these things that affect the direction of the ball. So that's why at times it might seem like the nudge doesn't work. And sometimes, if you're using the proper nudge direction, right? Sometimes, like if you feel like you have to use a left, but maybe you have to use an up nudge or something like that, as an example. Panel, would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, and one thing that I did, one thing that I do agree with that, and one thing that I want to add to that is I think some people are getting the wrong idea of what nudging is really for and how it's used. Okay, if you play like say, you know, a lot of maybe you've played a 4K or an HD, and you've played these Gottlieb tables, okay, and you nudge it, and the ball is actually moving across the table, okay. That's not what is that. First of all, that doesn't happen in real life. What happens in real life? Okay, when you nudge a pinball machine, the machine moves for a fraction of a second, but it's going to come right back to where, unless you actually scooted the machine across the floor, it's going to come right back to where it was. Okay, what nudging is really doing, for the most part, is whether it's your flippers or the slingshots or the walls. You are physically moving those devices a tiny amount. Okay, the ball is going to stay exactly where it is, like not relative to the playfield, relative to space. Okay, the whole machine is moving. The ball is going to stay where it's at. So this is, if you guys have ever and I'm not talking to the people on the panel know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people in the chat. Have you ever heard of a slap save or you've heard of nudging off of walls. A slap save.
All you need is get
where-
a little ball and put it on a book and just shake it. You'll see the ball. See how it moves.
Yeah. The books are
You
moving
can
all
do it at
around, and the
home.
ball is staying right there.
Yeah, you can do
right?
it at home and
Mhm.
do experiment, just like.
So if you think about it in terms of a pinball machine, what a nudge is really for most of the time, and then obviously it goes all over the spectrum. Like, when we were playing Tomb Raider, it goes on the alley, and you definitely want to be nudging because you want to slap that ball out of there. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like most of the time when I'm nudging, that ball's coming. If a ball's coming straight down the middle, do like what Nick said. Imagine the pinball machine is a book with a ball on it, and you move that book over a little bit. Well, now the flipper, instead of missing the ball, is just touching it now, because you only got to move it like this much, right? The gap between the flippers is the gap between the flippers is usually not that far off. So that's I'd be interested. I have not played Pinball FX personally, so I can't say whether or not they even implemented that correctly. But to say that nudging doesn't work because but maybe a ball comes down the middle and then it doesn't move. Well, it's not supposed to. The ball isn't going to. If you go to a pinball arcade and the ball's coming down the middle and you nudge the machine, it ain't moving. It's not going to move. And that's why it's like I got like a really wrong idea when I was playing these Gottlieb tables, because it's like I nudged the ball and the ball actually it will move like a whole flipper width if you nudge it within a foot of the flippers. It's like that's not. I'm going to do that when I'm playing those games. And there's a lot of things on digital pinball that are not possible in real life. I know that what Retrotech calls it the digital pass. Yeah, I'm doing forward nudges. I don't do forward nudges in real life. I'm not passing the ball from the right flipper to the left flipper on a real pinball machine. But you better believe it that if I can do that on virtual, I'm going to do it. What about I see you're a little quiet there, Spartycus. What is your experience as far as nudging on the 4K?
Well,
do you do it at all?
No, well, I'm about to get even more quieter because, like, I'm not really a nudger. Like you said, when I'll start nudging when it's getting to the out lanes or especially on Attack from Mars for a slap save. But other than that, I'm really not a fan of nudging. But then, like, I've seen streams where, like, you and Mad Ben are going nuts and you're passing the ball back and forth between the flippers. Like, that's out of my repertoire. So, like, I will let you vouch for what you can nudge away on Attack from Mars here. But like, I found when I was getting ready for this, I hit 39 billion the other night, and I was not nudging at all in that game. Like, maybe to try and save. I don't remember having any miracle saves from a nudge there. So no, but if you compare, like, this is a Zen and Zen and then Magic Pixel tables, it's like two completely different types of nudging. Where like I've started using a lot of nudging in Magic Pixel, where like I know what I'm doing in that, but I haven't really built that into my game in the Zen tables, unless I'm like I need to do something, panic and try to save it or whatnot.
Yeah, and one thing that I do want to make a distinction here is that you absolutely don't need to. Okay, if you guys are watching me play, watching anybody play, and you might see me doing some weird stuff with nudging, and the ball is going a different way than you've ever seen it go. Absolutely not needed. Okay, you could get. I'm not going to say anything about Nix's score, but I'm sure you could get into that 100 billion range and you don't nudge at all. Okay, it's absolutely not needed. But what it does do for me, okay, like for me, and I'm talking about that's all I can speculate on, is it makes it to where I feel very comfortable that any situation I can get myself out of. Because one thing that I hate when I'm playing a game, I hate when I have something happen and I'm like, there was absolutely nothing that I could do. And these, like, doing these slap saves or figuring out that a ball can be nudged off a wall, it's even if it doesn't help you, it gives you that comfortability knowing that I did everything that I possibly could have done. What about you, Scoaljo? Do you nudge a lot on your 4K, or are you kind of just?
I tend to nudge a lot. Now, one of the things I'm interested in is I noticed everybody nudges a little differently. Like I use the buttons on the side, but I also use the D-pad. And then if I'm on a Magic Pixel table, I will use the accelerometer, which is pretty much the only time I use the accelerometer. But yeah, I find it interesting that the easiest way to nudge is definitely the D-pad up, and then I use the buttons. I rarely use the accelerometer, but I do nudge a heck of a lot. I find the accelerometer has too much of a lag. There's like 0.2 second lag between that and the buttons, and it kind of messes me up anytime I smack the machine.
Gotcha, and that's a perfect point, because that brings me right into what I want to talk about here, and because I'm going to go to Nix. Before I get to you and ask you about this, what I do, right? Almost exclusively, 99% of the time, I'm using the buttons and the D-pad. I'll use the right button for a right nudge, the left button for a left nudge, and the up button on the D-pad to do a forward nudge. Now, like I said, forward nudges are really super cheesy, especially on like Zen tables. Like it feels like you're cheating, but I mean, I'm gonna do it if I can. I'm not gonna not do it. But the one thing that I wanted to highlight is how easy it is for me to do it. Right? I don't have to move my hands. All right, I'm standing at the machine like this. Right? If I want to do a right nudge, I go like this. If I want to do a left nudge, I go like this. And if I want to do a forward nudge, I go like this. Okay? I'm not moving my hands. In real life, you got to shake the machine, and that's cool. It actually makes it so you got to be almost like a little more athletic, right? You got to be like ready to go. Like when I'm playing this machine, one of the highlights is that I can literally stand there like this, and I don't have to do anything extra to nudge the ball. And why I'm saying that is because I want to go over to you, Nix. So we've all been hearing through the grapevine, and you have personally corresponded with them, how XArcade, their control panel, they're going to be updating it with this, or not, they're going to be offering this Haptics kit. And they also have some things that they want to add to the machine to make it easier to nudge. Okay? And we're not breaking new ground here. There's some people in the community that have talked about this. But what I want to do is I want to get your opinion. And before you even get into that, like, do you nudge? Like, how does it work on an XArcade panel? Because I'm pretty sure you got like that joystick, right? I'll counterpoint what you have to say, because I got an opinion about that. But do you nudge? Yes. And do you think that these things that they're going to implement, do you think that they're going to work? Or do you B, think that there is a much better way that whether or not they can do it, they need to do it? That's what I have to say.
For the get-go, it's great to hear that they're offering this, because it's going to make the experience that much better than what I already have. Right now, currently I use the joystick just on the left side, so it's not intuitive, because when you want to right nudge, you're using your left hand, because you have to, and then not only that, you have to take your hand off and reach up and hit the joystick. It's a little difficult in its current configuration. So they're going to implement an accelerometer inside this. So hopefully we'll be able to physically nudge the XArcade behind me and get it to nudge like this. I am concerned about latency, which Scoaljo just mentioned with accelerometers on the 4K, where there's that little latency. It's just to see if it's zero latency. When you nudge, it's like 1-for-1. Like it's that instantaneous. It'll be interesting to see if there's the other option of still using the joystick. I think it's possible that and I've seen some screenshots that they've sent me. They were going to make a thicker joystick skirt that'll go over top, and just like you see this one right here, this skirt here, but like something a little bit thicker and wider, so you can sit there and kind of nudge with your thumb within reach, at least with the left direction, easily. And then they also asked if it would be feasible to maybe map one of the buttons on player 2 there on that side to be able to reach it. And if it goes that route, that if we have both of those options, it'll be interesting to see which one's better. Is it better to still physically grab a button and hit the joystick, or actually physically move the machine. That'll be interesting.
And so like when you agree with Scoaljo, I think one of the biggest things about all of this, okay, and I'll put myself on the full screen here. I think one of the biggest things about all this, especially coming from a person that I honestly think AtGames did it perfectly. Okay, they've implemented it to a way that I don't see a way that you could make it better. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that it's possible to replicate that. I'm just saying that there is a baseline of what I call near perfect. Okay, and the reason why it's near perfect, I think I'm lagging less when I don't have everybody. When I don't have just myself. I think one of the reasons that it's near perfect is because of you don't have to move your hands. And when you use the buttons, it's zero latency. It does exactly what you want, exactly when you press it. That's why I don't shake the machine, because like Scoaljo was saying, like I don't know, like whenever I've ever tried that, it's like I don't want that. Even if it is near perfect, I don't like that doubt in my mind. Like, dude, I pushed the machine and the damn thing didn't go over, right? I don't want that. So when I see what they're gonna want to do with this XArcade and doing the joystick, like I guess, yeah, maybe your thumb's kind of there, but like one thing that's great about the AtGames is that like when you have it completely mirrored, the right side buttons are exactly the same as the left side buttons. Okay, that's one less thing that you have to think that your mind has to process. Even if you're not thinking about it, it's one less thing that your mind has to process, because you have to realize that when it comes to pinball, man, some of the decisions you're making in your mind are 20 milliseconds in time. Like they're very fractional. I don't need to worry. Like I don't need my mind to go, oh, I needed to do this to right nudge it, but this to left nudge it. So I'm not saying that, you know, that it's possible to fix that. The only thing that I could possibly see is that, you know, they would need to have some sort of way that you could splice some new buttons. Like even like I think I was talking to you, Nix. Like even if they just had like little like micro buttons that you had to like put in, that you had to just like I don't know, stick them onto the side. But like I in my mind, and this is just me, okay, and you guys are free to disagree. If I'm gonna be nudging and I'm gonna be using buttons, it needs to be the same on both sides, and it needs and more importantly, I don't want to be moving my hands, you know, because one thing that I did do was I played some tables over the weekend, and I was like, how much do I really nudge? Some tables, I'm nudging a dozen times a minute. Okay, 12 times in a minute. I'm nudging every 5 seconds. And then some tables, like Attack from Mars and some of these Zen tables, I'm only nudging a couple times. But if I'm doing something 12 times in a minute, I don't need my hand going like this. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be right there, because fatigue is real, guys. It like say what you want about, you know, about a lot of these games. You know, if you're doing way too much, you're not even saying you're not in your mind gonna get tired. I'm not getting tired. But when you're talking about things that are so minute in timing, you will get tired. Your muscles are just not gonna have that quick twitch that they always do. So that's one thing that I wanted to count. And Nix, I'm going to bring it back over to you. Do you agree or you disagree with that?
No, everything is timing sensitive. I have trouble nudging in the VR when I have to use the joystick when the ball is in danger going out the out lanes on the sides. When it's precariously kind of bouncing and hitting the posts around there, that second where I got to take my hand off to get up there to hit the nudge. That's when I lose the ball. And I can't get the nudge in. It's timing specific at times, because the ball is moving, and if I don't nudge at that right time, I can't get it to deflect off a certain way to save it. So
I think that kind of brings everything together. It's like even when we were talking about like the lag of some of the stuff on 4K, it's all because of the timing, man. And I like if you're not a huge pinball player, 25 milliseconds sounds like nothing, but the difference between 50 milliseconds and 75 or 100 milliseconds, you might not think that it's like, oh, it's a blink of an eye, but subconsciously, guys, like that makes a huge difference in what you're trying to do. And you know, I'm not going to sit here with and I was doing it at one point where I was like videoing stuff that that other YouTuber did that. He did a really good job. I'm not going to go into any of that. I don't need to sit there and do any of that. But the thing is that if there's anything to take away from what we've said, timing is everything, guys. And being economical in everything that you're doing. Like if you're doing something and it feels like you're doing too much, you probably are. Okay, it should not. What we're doing should not be labor intensive. Okay, this is just standing at a pinball machine playing. Now, when you're playing in real life, yeah, you're going to be moving that thing around, believe me. But when we're playing digital pinball, just be comfortable. And if you feel like you're getting uncomfortable, you're probably working too hard. We're going to go around the panel one last time, okay? And then we're going to get into some gameplay because I know I've been rambling on. One piece of advice you'd give to somebody on this Attack from Mars table if they've never played it. Start with you, Scoaljo.
I would say if you need one more hit on the force field protecting the saucer, you can hit it into the lower level Martians and get it to bounce up and around for an easy catch. I think that's the best way, and it won't ricochet straight down the middle if you hit it straight up there. So yeah, hit around the Martians to hit the saucer.
Absolutely, yeah, I totally agree with that. That is the way to go. How about you, Spartycus?
I just got to ask you a question. You guys don't sweat when you play? Is it just me?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I sweat. Hands get sweaty. Oh yes,
okay.
Mom spaghetti.
I was just like, oh, it's a workout for me. My one piece of advice would be patience. Have patience when you're playing, especially Attack from Mars. It's a very fast table compared to some other ones. The ball's coming down fast. If it's coming down that middle, you're probably not saving it without a flat save. So patience. And when I'm playing patiently, I'm not shooting it up the middle. I'm banking it to hit that saucer and to hit those drop targets. I'm banking it off the side Martians to get it up there and sticking to the orbits. I very rarely hit it up the middle.
Yes. Yeah, and totally. I totally agree that I sweat when I play. And that's why I'm saying that's why I like to take a step back and go, if I'm already getting this tired, I'm doing this much to play, I need to not do anything that's going to make it worse. So but no, I totally agree. Yeah, dude, I actually have to take my buttons off like once a month to clean them out because they just get sticky. How about you, Nix? What would you say? You've got the high score. If anybody has a tip on this table, it would be you.
Other than the obvious ones, I would say don't sleep on lighting the award light. For that drop target, and how you do that is by doing the combos, just by hitting the ramps and the lanes. Just, as soon as you get a combo, friggin' it lights that up. So keep hitting that because the awards you get out of that are great at times. So definitely, that's a good tip.
All right, guys. I think we had some good discussion. I know we kind of rambled on a little bit, but that's what the thing is that. This table, I feel like we have a lot more stuff to talk about as far than newer tables because, we don't really know so much about new releases. But this one's been around a long time. And now you guys are going to see what some high-level gameplay looks like on this. Compare and contrast what you normally do to what these guys are going to do because a guy like Nix, a guy like Spartycus, a guy like Scoaljo, they're going to show you how to play these games. So what we're going to do now, guys, is I'm going to cut over to a little scene here, and then we will go ahead and get into some gameplay. Don't you go nowhere. All right, we will go over to this scene here. Let me take this off. I think everybody started their stream. Nix looks like he's got a little one more thing that he has to do. But guys, thank you everybody for making it tonight. Well, and these will just buffer for a second, and then the lag will go away. But thank you guys so much for making it tonight. This is going to be really fun. So the one thing about this game is it does take a while to play. So you guys are going to be sitting here. Hopefully somebody can get to the end where they're going to rule the universe. But we shall see. But in the meantime, let us go ahead. And we'll start off with Scoaljo. Well, that's not how you want to start the game. Once all their streams load up, it'll be good.
Yeah, find those shots.
No shame in restarting the game.
So we are going to find those shots.
One thing that we didn't mention in our discussion is that when you do your launch, if you hold up the left flipper, the ball will come down to the flippers.
To hit those orbits.
And any orbit that you hit will fill it out, and if you hit the saucer, it will start the mode.
There we go.
See, we should be good now. It takes like a minute to... guys, I'm not working with super good hardware here, but it takes a good minute for everything to load up, but it looks like we are good now.
There we go.
And as you can see, if you're looking over at Nix's...
One more shot left on that.
All the way on the far right.
Once that triggers, it's going to ask us to hit it into the center saucer.
You can see that Nix looks a little different. He's playing on Pinball FX VR, guys. He's playing in virtual reality with the goggles.
Triggered. Again, it's hard to get up there. Sometimes the best way to get up there is when you're coming down that orbit. You've got some good momentum on the ball there.
Let's go ahead and pop around and make sure everybody's audio looks good.
Try that again. Hit the second one. 2 more Martians to go. Gonna blow the saucer. Try to hit that last Martian and start a multi-ball. Think I might have did it. Not sure. But we got the saucer. Nope. Martian's still going. No. One more.
This game, man, yeah, it can bust you, and you can be done in a couple minutes. But this is a game where if you get a good game, it can last for a while, and you got a lot to do.
All right, this game's probably normally a throwaway, but let's see if I can do something. Right now, I'm just trying to get into total annihilation, trying to complete everything. A lot of dead bouncing here.
Use the atomic blaster now. Well done, soldiers.
All right, let's try it up the middle again.
Looks like Nix is already in a multi-ball. It's still popping on him.
You're the best.
Martian multi-ball just ended. Oh, and I just balled it. Yeah, there's my throwaway game. That was ball 3.
Well, we all
Alright.
had a throwaway game.
Here we go.
Let's go ahead and see what Scoaljo's up to.
Alright.
Get up there.
So, in case you didn't see, that little ramp there that's right next to the saucer, that Scoaljo just went up and came right back down. Get used to watching that on 4K. That's what we were discussing about how it's very hard to hit that ramp because he has to go all the way around that ramp to get that light lock.
We got our atomic blaster lit. Ooh, that was fast. Oh, come on.
Excellent.
Big O beam's lit. Another center shot. And it came down nice and safe. Cool. Looks like I think we are 2 shots away from our total annihilation. I gotta get that left orbit. Get in there. Come on.
I'll mute Scoaljo really quick while I talk. So, in case you guys haven't been following me too much, this table was the final table of our Battle of the Streamers tournament where I played against House of Hounds. And then in that final match, that was when I realized that going for a total annihilation multi-ball all the time was a good thing. And that's what he's doing right now.
Come on, get up there. Out, coming straight down the middle.
But you can see that sauce is still open, and if he hits a shot in there, he doesn't have to worry if it goes right down the middle because he's got another ball.
Hey, we got the saucer though.
But he did get the saucer. Now he's got an extra ball lit because he just completed his second saucer. So he needs to hit the stroke of luck. The stroke of luck is the scoop. Oh, good save there. The stroke of luck is the scoop right to the right of the saucer. It's about 2/3 of the way down the flipper.
Nice.
Knocks it right in there. Gets his extra ball.
Extra ball.
I want to be getting those whenever you can.
All right, we got video mode.
Video mode.
Let's see
You
how
feel
this
like
goes.
you have to. You feel like you have to complete
It's
this.
tough to get the ones on the edge.
So he's on the DMD. If you look in the top left corner, you can kind of see the strategy to complete this is.
Come on.
Oh,
we
geez.
missed
Oh,
that
he got
one.
very unlucky. He might just
Only
missed
8
it.
saucers.
But
The
strategy there is to do
Oh.
left, right, and kind of just.
Maybe I
sweep
should have
the
done what
bullets across
Spartycus
the
was talking
screen.
about earlier and using one of my Martian bombs. Get up there. You can usually hit the ramps fairly reliably, except for the lock ramp. Strobe multi-ball. This is always
Strobe
fun.
multi-ball.
Just gonna try
If
to
you hit
bash
the
that
center
force field.
10 times, you'll light your extra ball. The ball save lasts for quite a bit, so the fact that he just lost out there means nothing. But now he's on his own.
Ah.
There's a good 3 hits right there. Ooh. Ball was in his way. He's got to be. Oh, he was very close. Get it in there.
Well, we didn't quite get our
Oh, I
extra.
thought he was one shot away. He was probably two. Very good try there in that multi-ball, though. Let's go over to Nix.
Oh man. Alright. We just finished Total Annihilation Multi-Ball. Got a good almost 2 billion out of that. Now we're gonna try to set that up again. Before I do that, I gotta get that gate drop so I can get France.
Watch out, man. They've got a big old beam.
Oh, didn't go up.
Biggie D's Arcade, great to see you, buddy. Glad you could stop by.
Alright, here we go. Oh, I hit the post. That was a bad one. Look at that, 20 times bonus multiplier. So, yeah. So I gotta glow that again.
Let's get Spartycus. So what happened there, guys, is every time you complete a lane, oh jeez, every time you complete all three lights in a lane, it'll light up the middle for a hurry up award.
Alright,
You
is
can
anyone
actually
else
stack
having a
those,
decent
by the way.
game? No.
You could actually, they
Yeah,
increase.
looks like Scoaljo's got 4 billion going. That's good.
Spartycus, I think, is pretty. I'm pretty certain that he's in the top 5 on the At Games leaderboards on this table. But it's a game where, man, you got to have some things go your way. And then if you can get pretty far and start getting those extra balls, man, you can get a lot of points.
Alright, that's some
You just got total
annihilation
annihilation.
happening.
I will fly right into this thing.
Oh, what a waste. Alright, see if we can light up a multi-ball there.
Every American man.
So this is the marching mode. You have to hit all 4. You just got the right one. A lot of times when you hit the right one, it'll bounce. Like if you hit the side ones, it'll bounce up and hit those ones up top. That was a pretty neat shot there. He hit a march and completed the saucer in one shot. Now he's got his extra ball.
Oh no.
Very fortunate to not have that float to the outlet. He's just got the one marching up there. Oh, he just hit it. Now he's going to get a 2-ball multi-ball. Which you'd really like, well, he just got the extra ball there.
Right,
You'd really
well,
like to have this when there's
trying to
sauce
get the
going, because
Martians.
you can't start it once it's going. But he completed the one while he was doing the mode, so you can't really fault him. RetroTech has some great videos out. You guys just saw his chat. Yeah, he's got some great tutorials out showing you just from the basics to the elite what you want to do on these tables. So it doesn't matter what skill level you are.
We can open up
very
Italy.
valuable. Go give RetroTech a subscription. I thought that was your URL, but I'll delete it. I tried.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter, you ugly Martian?
Try to get it here.
Alright, let's see if we can get another extra ball here.
Oh no! Brutal. But at least they're coming back, right? We'll watch this multi-ball and then we'll pop over to either. Looks like Scoaljo has 9 billion. Nothing to shake a stick at.
Hit it!
Not sure where.
So it's probably close, eh? It's probably like a 9.
No, lost that one.
Watch out, man. They've got a big old bean.
Well, Nix has a good game going on because I can already see he has his extra ball lit.
9.7.
Extra ball.
10 billion, looking pretty good. RetroTech. Here, I'll bring up your message here. The Super Jackpot is that same ramp that you use to start multi-ball, just to the left of the saucer. When you're in total and not
Alright.
well, actually,
and
when you're in
strobe multi-ball. I'm just
when you're
going
in
nuts.
the regular multi-ball, right? Here, I'll make this here so I'm not talking over it. When you're in the regular multi-ball, right? You have to hit every ramp, and then you have to hit one ramp. I think, well, for the Super Jackpot, in the regular multi-ball, it'll be a random ramp, right? That's how you collect the award that you need, the objective that you need. But the actual jackpots in Annihilation multi-ball, where you can get a lot of points, you have to hit that. You have to hit that ramp that's just to the left of the saucers. But in the regular multi-ball, to get your Super Jackpot, you got to hit the ramp, and it'll change. It'll start all the way to the left, and every 10 seconds, it'll change. It'll go to the one to the right, then to the right again, then to the right again, and it'll go around. So sometimes, you'll be on a flipper, you'll be sitting there waiting, and it's like, I'm going to wait for it to get to that orbit because I know that I can hit that orbit perfectly.
Ah,
Yeah, of course, man. I'm surprised. If anybody would have known, I would have thought it'd been you, man. You do a deep dive on a lot of these games. That's why I'm saying, if you guys want to see a channel of a guy that is giving you tips and helping you out, just subscribe to RetroTech.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Germany is victorious!
Beautiful. Here we go. Almost got the
Yeah,
table
Ben is right.
completed.
If you start
Just
hitting
have
those
the
ramps
Conquer
religiously,
Conquer
and that's
Mars
total
now. That's the
annihilation,
last thing I got to
and
do.
then you can get that super jackpot shot. That's where you're going to get a lot of your score, and that's
Just gotta go
why
after
it's
the
so hard on
saucers.
the 4K, because that ramp is just so hard. You know, if it was easy to hit that ramp, man, billions of points would be easy. That's why conquering Mars is not such a bad way to go in the 4K, just because of how hard it is to do the total annihilation strategy.
Stop
But
them!
I really need to give this table some more time, man. I'm sitting here talking about it like I'm an expert on it. I am not an expert on this at all. I don't even think I'm in the top 20.
Got it. Got the lock.
And that's one thing. Once you light that lock,
Standby.
which he has to light it again here because I guess he's already got the multi-ball. To light the lock, you got to go all the way around the ramp. Once the lock is lit, to get into that, all you got to do is just get around that little curve there. Get it in the hole. Very easy. No excuse to not hit that on 4K. So if you look down at the bottom of Nix's playfield there, you can see
Got the
5
low
of the
view.
6 lights are lit. And he only has one left. And the one he has left is Conquer Mars. So he has to complete the last, I guess, 2 saucers here if he wanted to do that. And then he would get into where he could rule the universe. Let's pop over to Scoaljo.
Take that, Muppet Head!
Did we still trigger it? Looks like we still triggered it.
Very nicely done, Retrotech. This game is very, very satisfying when you can get a high score.
Nice.
Especially because, like, it's a high-scoring game in general. Like, you're looking at these guys' pop-up scores, it's like 20 million, 50 million, 300 million. And you're like, dude, I gotta be scored high on this thing. But there's just some things that you just have to
There we
do.
go.
And if you're not doing them, then you're just not gonna score. But glad you could do it, man. This is one of the greats. This is one of the greats, and that's why I think there's a lot of prestige getting a high score on these and getting on that backclass. I'm going to be looking to do it here soon. But this game's hard. There's no two ways about it, guys. This game is hard.
Use the atomic
Oh.
blaster now!
Hit with that atomic blaster. Nice.
Great shot!
Yes, Retro was in the Wizard Room week 1. Guys,
Nope.
like there's no
Saw it coming.
like
I think if I would've
super
nudged to the
dibs
left, I think it'd
for
been
anybody on this show, by the way. Usually you can get a pretty good idea
man.
of when we are going to be
Did
when
not
we're going
want
to be
get up
doing
into that.
a show, because I mean it's always Monday nights. Next week, I think what is that? Is it that like it's called Honor and Legacy or something from Zen? We're gonna do that. I don't know if it's good. We're gonna do that, but yeah, guys. Anybody who wants to be on this show, you know how to hit me up. Just hit me up, man. This is an open invite. I think even my sister's gonna come on one of these. She might not play, but she wants to talk. And honestly, I think that's probably not a bad idea, because
So we go from
she's not topping any back classes.
Billion to
But
924
it might be
million.
not a bad idea to hear what
why
somebody
we
that
restarted
isn't
things.
getting top 20 on the back class has to say. Spartycus with 9 billion.
Destroy the bleeding saucer.
Yeah. Destroy the
Yeah, I
saucer. Hopefully
I remember the
open it
first day this
up,
came out,
Get some total
and I got like
annihilation
like
again.
5 billion, and it was like, dude, you're not even close. I was like, okay. I still haven't gotten that high of a score on this. I need to put a lot more time on this I got like 20 something. I'll tell you what's funny. I've gotten like 40, 50 billion on my phone.
No.
You guys ever played that?
See,
Williams
sometimes the
pinball
bank
on your
shot
phone?
still doesn't work.
I've done good on that. But on the 4K, man, I'll be damned if I can get a good score. So Spartycus ends the game with 10 billion. Nothing to shake a stick at. Let's go over to Nix.
Jackpot!
But you can see that he's in this multi-ball where he can get that jackpot.
Jackpot!
Shoot for the super jackpot.
Okay, no, he's in the regular multi-ball. Super, so you can see super jackpot is changing. Now it's the multi-ball ramp. It's about to be the right ramp.
Jackpot!
Oh, he got it. Wow, he's killing it.
And just got a super jackpot. Oh yeah. Oh no.
Well, that was brutal. You don't want that to happen.
Look at that bonus.
Shoot again!
Brilliant.
Hey, 13 billion. You know, you're getting an idea of how to play the game. You know what I mean, Omega? Like, it's not like you're not just going in there and you have no idea. Like you know what it takes. Keep at it, man. Take what we've said. Take some of our tips and go out there and kill it, man. You can totally get up.
Alright, so let's get the saucer.
I know, Ben. Isn't that crazy how smooth they are? I need to get some time on a MetaQuest one day and try this pinball effect. Was that his last saucer? So I think he now goes to Mars. Nope, he's got one more. He's got was that New York City? Last one. He's got the USA on the bottom there, and then he will go to. But like he said, he's not even really going for that. He's really trying to get that at total annihilation. But if he gets that in the interim, that's cool.
Let's see if we can get this multi-ball here.
Omega, I totally understand that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's one of the things about the 4K. I mean, I know you're talking about VR, but I think that's one of the things about the 4K in particular that's actually, paradoxically, one of its weak suits. Is how many tables there are. Dude, you play a game one day and it's like, I'm just going to play something else.
Multi-ball instead.
You know? And like, when you only have a couple tables that you're really interested in, you can really focus on them and get very good at them, and that's when you're going to become a master at that specific table. That's the kind of attitude that I was trying to do with Battle of Extremists. Is that you know, we're focusing on one table, because when you have such a plethora of tables, you know, my attention span gets the better of me. I just don't want to do it.
Bounce there. I should have
Mad Benhan will
right on the
totally agree with me on that. It's hard to be good at all.
The flipper.
Somehow Mad Benhan is good at all of them, but it is hard.
Get up there. There we go, nice. So we got the saucer out of the sky.
Omega's is 122nd on Quest,
easily.
but
and we got.
I mean, damn, we're lucky if we got 30 on this 4K.
Let's see. If
I'm not complaining about the 4K though. Best money I've ever spent, and I love it.
Here.
It's got his extra ball.
There's that extra ball. Should have a stroke of luck coming too. Let's see what it gets us. Oh, like the Martian attack. Alright. Get up there.
Nothing can defeat us.
That's funny.
Careful.
Omega.
Careful not to tilt.
That's funny that, you know, you pick out a table.
I got a danger.
I'll tell you what. I feel like everybody has that same attitude about a certain particular table. You know what it is for me? Freaking Party Zone, dude. I cannot stand that table. It just grinds my gears. I don't like Captain Bizarre. I don't like the music. I don't like the layout. I don't like anything about it. You don't have to like every table, and that's one of the great things about us having all this digital pinball and this huge library, is that if you don't like a table, just go to something else. But yeah, I totally get that. Totally understand. That's how I've actually never played Champions Club, so I can't tell you if I like that or not. Yeah, Omega, man. If you could figure out how to do this,
Super Jets.
you come on. That's what I'm talking about. This is open to anybody who can figure it out. And obviously, you've got the skills to pay the bills. Getting $13 billion on Attack from Mars, that's not nothing.
Oh, let's save that. Nope.
Borderlands. I don't. That's part of the. Isn't that the same pack that has like Brothers in Arms or something? I haven't played a lot of those. I think it was like the Gearbox pack or something like that. I haven't played any of those. I know Homeworld is one of the worst tables I've ever played in my entire life. I know that. I'm pretty sure it was around that same pack. I normally don't crap on tables. You know, if it's not my cup of tea, I just don't like it. But I can objectively say that Homeworld is terrible. Omega says, don't forget that they're doing their Williams Pro Table tournaments. Guys, if you're playing that Pinball FX VR, man, make sure you hook up with Omega Stream 1979.
Let's see if we.
I love competition. I'm totally always open to competition, dude. I just missed Nix. I was literally just about to pan over to him too. Look at this. I was just about to pan over to him. What did he score? Somebody, you could see it. Go rewind. Go rewind. Okay, rewind about 1 minute. Go see what Nix just scored on that game. You know, I'm trying to get to everybody, and I was literally just about to pan over to him. I thought he was going to be conquering Mars at that point. You let me down! But somebody in the chat, go post what Nix just put on Attack from Mars. And, you know, you're more than welcome to go watch that game, you know? I know I dim it a little bit, but you can totally still watch what he just put. Nix, I apologize. I wanted to get your highs and your score on there, but you got time to put another one on there. We're only an hour and 19 minutes in. This is a 2-hour show. So go ahead and do it again.
Shouldn't be terrible.
24 billion. Pretty good.
2 ramps for total annihilation.
Pretty good. Pretty good on one. Okay, that wasn't his first try because I know that he did play a game that he had a throwaway game. But 24 billion. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, a lot of people watching this would be like, man, I'd kill for 24 billion. Well, go back and watch his gameplay. You can watch the whole game. Right here on the Wizard Room. Weak. Weak.
We must destroy the stinking Martians. Save me.
Get up there. Video mode. All right.
Twilight Zone is. It's tough to say what my top 5 are. In order. I know what they are as far as tables, but my top 5 would include Attack from Mars, Twilight Zone, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Monster Bash.
TG, you were right, man. They
and
go
Black
faster.
Rose.
They go faster. Oh, I wasn't ready for it. They definitely
Twilight
go
Zone's a great
faster.
One of the first games that I played in real life that I really learned it in and out. You know, that holds some nostalgia for me. Let's go over to Spartycus. Spartycus just lit the extra ball from Stroke Multiball. That's a huge accomplishment. You're not, and that's the thing. as long as he doesn't panic here, you don't lose that. Like you still like that you just
Well,
lit
we
it.
finally
Like,
got a
you
game
just
going.
Get it. There we go.
Extra ball!
Let's see.
Yeah, Nix is the best pinball XVR player in the world, without a doubt. And that's why I'm really glad that he can show up on this show because the guy's good, man. A different top 5 every week. You know what? You know what I will say, Ben? You're 100% right. It's just how I feel. Because there's just so many great games. Like, honestly, I would have thought that I would have put the Getaway in there because we're playing that in Papa Brad's tournament. And I was playing that yesterday and I was like, man, what a great game. But, alas, I didn't say that. Theater of Magic. See, that's what's like. Damn, it's like, yeah, Theater of Magic. That's a good one too. I've played that one in real life too, man. Like, damn, that is good. Yep, that would be. We'll call that 5+1. And Tales of the Arabian Nights. I'm just, I don't know. Adam's Family is just. I think that's a great. I think that's a great game, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5. I would certainly never have any qualms
Total
against
Annihilation
playing that
coming
game.
up, hopefully.
I would have no qualms against playing that game, but it's just not in my top 5. Party Zone, Retrotech is just being a smartass now. Now he knows how to get under my skin because he knows I hate that stupid game. That's funny. Party Zone. Everybody put a leg on the stream for Retrotech saying Party Zone is the best. And he didn't clarify. So I'm thinking he means the best ever on the 4K. Whatever. It's the best, right? There you go, man. Yeah, Ben. Theater of Magic is really good. The only thing about that game that makes it, I mean, it still might be a top 5 table for me, but the thing that makes it not so good, it's the same thing about the Tales of the Arabian Nights, especially on the 4K, is the fact that it just takes too long. It's just, you're gonna be playing that game for an hour, minimum. Like, even on a bad game. Like, you could have a bad game that takes an hour. I don't like that. But I say that, and I call Twilight Zone one of my favorites, so what do I know? If there's anybody that knows me, it's this man, Mad Ben Han. How could I leave Caveman out of my top 5? I mean, it's one of the best design. It's one of the best design, not even just pinball, just one of the best art masterpieces of art ever created. Obviously, it's one of the biggest pieces of trash, garbage, ridiculous, stupid, never should have even been conceived things ever made, but I digress. Last Belmont, I would totally agree. And that's why it's hard for me to just.
What's coming up?
It's hard for me to even like put that in because I feel like a Medieval Madness and Attack from Mars are so similar. So if you're gonna make a top 5, you gotta pick one. And now that you mention it, I honestly might even put Medieval Madness above it. I don't know though because Attack on Mars has had a place in my heart just because it was one of the first games that I played. But it's good. But I will say, objectively, there's no way I can make a top 5 list and put Attack from Mars and Medieval Madness in the same echelon because they're almost the same.
Look out! More Martians!
Fishtails, I'll tell you what, man. Fishtails is a great game, and I've had a lot of fun. I just don't know if I can put it in the top five. It's a one-trick pony, man. And it's a great one-trick, don't get me wrong, and I love it, and it's great. But, I don't know, man. It's just like, could I really like a game like Fishtails more than I like Monster Bash? Really? I just don't think I can. I'm doing so much more in Monster Bash. Don't get me wrong, what I'm doing in Fishtails is awesome. But you gotta look at some things objectively, and yeah.
Oh, there we go. Give me that total annihilation. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. That's crap.
Shooting.
Totally agree, Pete. I was telling people when that game came out, my wife doesn't really care too much about me playing this machine. She honestly says it's really loud, keeps her up. But what I will say is when I bought that monster pack and I was playing Monster Bash all the time, dude, she was walking around the house singing the Monster Bash song. Monster Bash. Like, that alone puts that table in the top 5 for me. Call me biased.
the Super Jack one.
I mean, come on, you got to forgive me for that one. And she's like, yeah, play that Monster Bash game again. I was like,
We did it.
okay. Yes, ma'am. Oh, go. I gotta beat my mic
Come on,
because
slow
you're gonna do
down,
that.
buddy.
You some ugly
All right. Let's let the tilt bob chill for there a second. Tilt bob, quote unquote. Hello, if anybody out there knows, is there just a timer, or does the tilt bob actually slow down compared to, same as a real table?
Pretty sure it's just a timer
I
there.
imagine just use the accelerometer.
But, oh man, Omega. That's a question right there. That's a good question. Monster Bash or Creature from the Black Lagoon? Did I put Creature from the Black? I put that in my top 5. I had to, because that's honestly close to my number 1.
No time for tea.
I will say, and totally anybody can disagree with me. I mean, that's just total preference, right? It's Creature from the Black Lagoon for me, man. Unashamed. I think it's Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know what it is, but here's what I will say, okay? On a real pinball machine,
Nice, got a lock.
I think I like Monster Bash just because, like, there's so many toys and there's so many things going around the playfield. And if you play on a machine that's like really like modded with the lights, awesome. Okay. Now, Creature from the Black Lagoon is cool because it has the lights that wrap around that ramp. But for the most part, I don't think it's as interesting of a playfield as like as Monster Bash. But on this digital, I fell way more in love with Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think it was a perfect representation. I think there was literally nothing that they could have done that I'm like, oh, they should have done that better. I think it's perfect. And but I mean, you're asking me which one's better when they're both amazing. I can't even make a comparison. I was going to try to make a clever comparison, but I can't because they're just both amazing. And they both deserve to be in anybody's top 5, I will say. See, Retrotech, like, you say that, but I'll tell you, man, you don't have to. Like, so, like, one thing that I've done back in my stream, you guys, if you guys know any history about me, I've done streams that were, 4 hours long, and so that wasn't very good content to watch. But among those streams, I had one where I told you how to play the Creature from Black Lagoon, and it's a 5-stage game, and one of the 5 stages is doing Move Your Car. That stage lasts 4 minutes. You don't have to sit there and do Move Your Car for an hour. You really don't. And because the jackpots double, those super jackpots double up until you get I think it's 1 point something billion, then it will cap. But you actually want to keep it below 200 million when you go for your first super jackpot, because it will double. Right? If you get your Move Your Car bonus up to 300 million, it won't do all the doubles. It'll only do 2 out of the 3. So
Save me!
yeah, see, that's where Ben and I can disagree. And you know what? You ask me on a different day. If you guys ask me next week
Thank you.
which one I like better, I might say Monster Bash. I think they're... Now, he says easy. I don't know if I agree with that. Now, you can have any opinion you want. If he thinks that it's clear as day, he thinks it's clear as day. I think it's a lot closer than one's clearly better than the other. That's quite a testament to that pack they put out. Can you believe? Now I'm talking about the 4K.
All right, here we go. Another multi-ball.
Can you believe that they put out Monster Bash and Creature from the Black Lagoon at the same freaking time? Unbelievable. Clearly one of the best packs released on the 4K, without question.
Jackpot! What's the matter, you ugly Martian? Jackpot!
There's no arguing that the layout of Monster Bash, I would say it's pretty much perfect. It's perfect. It's got the orbit, it's got a left ramp, a center lane, a right ramp, and a right orbit, and a scoop.
Excellent!
Same thing with kind of Attack from Mars. It's actually almost kind of similar here. If you just replace the saucer with just a center lane, it's actually pretty similar to this table, right? And it actually has that creature hole on the left there. So it's almost a perfect layout, man. And there's no arguing that. And what I will say about what Ben says here with music, you play the machine in real life, Creature from Black Lagoon, it's got way more music. That's the only detriment to the at games or just digital pinball recreation of that table in general, is that they only do one song in Creature. There's 5. I'm pretty sure there's 5 in real life. Makes it awesome, but it's just that's just the way it is. What are you gonna do? Yep, can't disagree with that. It's if I was going to tell anybody to get one pack, it would be the Monster Pack. Not even close. Yeah, that actually on the real Creature from the Black Lagoon in real life. You know that one song, it's like a dun 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 dun. I don't know what song that I don't know which one that is. There's actually 5 different songs that can be played on that machine in real life, and they only picked the one. I don't know if it was licensing or what. They only picked the one song on 4K, but it's fine. That is not a deal breaker for me, but that is a thing. And it's funny, the fact that it only has that one song is what allows me to do that extra ball force in the beginning. Not too easy as that. Hey, that's one of the things I like about that game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my video on Creature from the Black Lagoon. I show you how to force an extra ball in the first minute. %. Come on, 100%. That's why I think I said last week, I was like, I wasn't really worried about how the way the game sounded and played. That's not 100% accurate, because I'll tell you what, like, if a game sounds good, like it's got awesome music, when you're laying, like, let's say you're like laying in bed after you played a game all day, what's the one thing that's gonna go over and over again in your head while you're laying there in bed? It's if it's got good music, man. Like, think of some of the greatest games that we played, not even pinball, like great games that we played when I was younger, like on a Nintendo 64, like a Banjo-Kazooie or a Diddy Kong Racing. Those games are so great because the music was great. Music has such an effect on a game that a lot of people might not realize. But you'll be sitting there at work and the song will just be going over and over and over and over again in your head, and you'll be like, I gotta go play that. Music, 100% needed. And then you get the other side of the coin, like Mad Ben Han points out here, that you got a game like Kung Fu Panda, where they literally just said, oh, music and sound? Well, screw that, we're gonna do none of it. And they just throw it away. So, in retrospect, there's no saving parties on everybody. I know you tried there, but you failed.
Well, finally,
I think that game's terrible. But I digress. Red River Valley. That it's like a popular, like a folk song. Like it's not original. It was definitely something that makes sense. Red River Valley. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of other ones too. Brooklyn Menace. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for making it. Thank you for making your presence known in the chat. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Right back. Let's look at the scores here. I'll pop over there. Oh, Spartycus has got 21 billion. We're going to leave you with Spartycus. I'll be right back. Go!
Oh, thank you.
No! Oh, I think I just heard that he was leaving you with me. But it is game over. 23 billion.
Unfortunately, I gave Spartycus the announcer's curse. I didn't mean to do that to you, buddy. You were having a good game. That's why I tell you all to put me on mute over there.
That's what I say.
You know what I mean?
The top
like,
six.
you don't need to be listening to me when I'm talking.
Christ.
This is for the crowd. Y'all do your own thing. No, I feel bad. I don't feel too bad. Look, Nix has got 26 billion, so do I feel that bad? Nah.
Hey, stick my car! Total annihilation! Woohoo! Take that, muffin head! Viva la France!
The last Belmont asks, which table has the best music?
Wrinklehead!
That's a good one. I gotta think about that for a minute. That's a good question. Honestly, like, I think Monster Bash has to be in the conversation just because that whole game is built around the music, right? The whole objective of that game is to get the band together and play the show. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got games that don't do that well. Like in my opinion, Alice Garage Band, I freaking hate that game. That's like it's just a lesser version of Monster Bash. Monster Bash, I think the music they made for that game is incredible. But that is one that I have to think about. I would say that that's one of the things that Monster Bash has going for it. Is,
Muffin Head.
it's amazing.
Super Jet.
Twilight Zone is good, and I like how they. I know your chat's cutting off there. I'll fix that. One of these days. I'm not a professional, guys. I'm a professional. But Twilight Zone, that's good, and like because they got the golden earring, Twilight Zone music, and it's good. And honestly, I think just the overall sound of that game. Same thing, and I put Twilight Zone and Addams Family on kind of like the same in the same echelon, just because they're both parallel, so they almost feel the same.
You can get this thing open.
I think the sound of those tables overall is unmatched. The music, they don't touch Monster.
Get your hands up!
But if you were looking at a whole overall sound library, like, dude, have you ever heard of a table go into a multi-ball like on Addams Family? That's what, you play some of these Magic Pixel games, it's like, that's what they're missing. Take gameplay aside, they can do whatever they want with a ramp here or a ramp there. Dude, get us hyped up for some stuff that's going on in the game. Like, that Addams Family, when they start a multi-ball, and even yes, Attack from Mars, when they go, multi-ball! That's what I'm talking about as far as good sound. So I would say Twilight Zone and Addams Family, great overall sound library. Same with Attack from Mars. I don't really care for the music. The music is kind of like secondary in this game. Still a great sound library, but I don't think anything touches the soundtrack of Monster Bash. Just those two songs, the Monster Bash main theme, and then that theme when you go into the Monsters and Rock, it's so rewarding when you finally get into that mode. It's like, this is badass. Jurassic Park, I'm not with you on that one. I know that they put the new music. I know they put the new music in the game, but that doesn't get me hyped for that game. It almost just because I've seen the journey and I knew what that game was without the music. Now if they put it in there, I'm like, whatever. Now the real machine, the Stern machine, I haven't played it enough to know. But if you're talking solely to 4K. That's funny you say that, Pete. I wouldn't even know. I hardly ever start my multi-ball in that game. So yeah, there you go, guys. I wouldn't even know. Okay, I kind of like looking at these scores here. Nix is on Conquer Mars.
Got it.
And he got it.
Can't we just be friends?
Mars destroyed.
He's got 40 billion.
I need the super jackpot now.
We're gonna stay with him for a little bit.
And I lost it.
Until he drains his next ball. Well, okay, that doesn't count. But everybody, including the people who are streaming here, what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to Scoaljo because he's playing.
All right,
We'll watch him play a ball. And as soon as he is done, we're going to go back to that scene, that transition scene. And those of you who are on the stream here, so Nix, Spartycus, and Scoaljo, please, if you can, load up that OBS Ninja link that we did before. We'll do a quick debrief. We're gonna keep this show to 2 hours and talk about what we saw in the game, how we did, what we showed off, what we didn't show off, and send everybody on their way. Well, let's go ahead and watch Scoaljo here
Get up there.
for the grand finale. Great game by Nix. Oh, there he is! He lives! I'm just kidding. Good to see you, it's a lot of love. Glad you can make it, my friend.
Okay, we do just have
The last Belmont.
saved
Circus Voltaire has to be coming soon. Because that was in the same breath as Safecracker. As far as the Williams releases. So, you gotta know that they're coming. But, we'll go ahead and just get everybody up here. But, guys, this was really fun. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to this little live discussion link again. So all of you guys who are playing, go ahead and bring that back up. And we will join you in just a moment. So don't you go nowhere. All right, guys. What'd you think of that? There's some Attack from Mars for you. Okay? We had some really great gameplay, a lot of good things showing off there, showing you how to get that Annihilation multi-ball and get some super jackpots, showing you how to conquer Mars and really get the points, guys. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had as much fun playing as I did watching. Well, let's see.
Absolutely.
Nix is really trying hard to get his set up. Well, let's go over to Scoaljo. Scoaljo, what'd you think of that gameplay tonight? Did you have fun? Did you have anything that you wish you had done that you didn't?
I wish I got one saucer away from getting to fight Mars, and man, I wish I could have gotten there. I was real close. I think I was 2 hits away or so, but man, I wish I could have gotten that. But this was a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite tables. It's a lot of fun. I did tilt on one of my total annihilations, which is pretty disappointing, but you know, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, of course. How about you? Spartycus? I know that we were watching you. You got a couple games, at least one game that got up there, man. What did you think? Was there anything that you were like, man, I wish I had done something else?
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I warmed up a little bit after the 2 warm-up games. I got that third game up good. And going back to my original thoughts, I missed out on the Conquer the Universe or whatever from the Super Jackpot. missed out on the super jackpot. That was the only thing that kept me from victory there, and had no chance to light it up again. But yeah, I had a good run going. I wasted probably a couple balls that game that I had no business wasting. But yeah, so if I had to do it all over again, I think I'm going to keep going for a super jackpot and reset until I get it. Like it's just so frustrating.
How about you, Nix? Hopefully we got your audio now.
Absolutely.
I believe you got the high score tonight. You were up there at 40 billion.
Yeah, 41
Nicely
was
done.
that
Nicely
last
done.
game. But I ended up choking, trying to, because I had everything lit up. I just had to conquer Mars in that one game, and then I balled out. And then that other game, same thing. I just had the super jackpot left, and I essentially balled out. And yeah, it's one of those tables you got to really have endurance to play, because yeah, it's such a challenging table. Like I don't even know how I got 125 billion. I just kept playing and playing and playing.
Well, because you're the best. That's all there is to it. No, but it is a testament to like how great of a table that is. Is that, you know, sometimes you play a game. I'm watching you guys. I understand that you guys were not warmed up. And we're watching the very beginning, and it's like, well, okay, there was a game in 30 seconds. All right, let's pop over to okay, they're done now too. It's like that's just tells you that it's a great, it's a really well designed game, because it is punishing when you're not doing well, and when you're doing well and you're in the groove, you just keep going. You get 30 billion, 40 billion, 50. Like it's a great game. Anybody who's interested in getting really good at Attack from Mars, go back and watch our discussion. Go back and look at what Nix did. He got 40 billion. Go back and look at what Spartycus did. He got 20-some billion. But the same thing with Scoaljo. Everybody, I'm so glad that you guys could come and show off this game tonight, and we could all talk about it. This is just really fun for me. I'm really glad that we can have nice discussions just about the games. And I think it's really good for the community, because, you know, this game in particular, I know that we're going to do some newer releases. That's what we're focusing on, really. But every once in a while, it's nice to just throw in one of these old ones that everybody plays and maybe doesn't know everything that they need to know. But we're gonna help you out, and I'm really glad that you guys could make it. Anything else that you guys want to say? How about you, NixReviews? Did you have a good time tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I had a great time. Like I said, like you said, so this is one of the classic tables that everybody just, it has that name on the tip of their tongue. Attack from Mars. It is a classic that'll always be fun. It's timeless.
Right. And I know that we were going around. You guys probably didn't hear it, but I was talking to some of the people in the chat. I was really talking with people. That's why I didn't even play tonight. You know, I was talking with people in the chat the whole night. That's what I like doing, because I don't need to have you guys watch me drain all the balls. But we were talking about what you think the top 5. What do you guys think the top 5 tables are of all time? And I'm not asking you guys in particular. That was just a conversation that we were having. And this one, I would say this is solidly in most people's running of a top 5, just because it's just really well designed. There's nothing about the sound or the design or the gameplay that would totally disqualify it from being one of the best. So, what about you, Spartycus? Thank you very much for coming on the show, Spartycus. It's first time being on here. I think I was very happy that you could make it. I'm really glad that it all came to fruition. How did you have it? Did you have a good time, man? Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, that's my bad. Oh, that's my bad. There we go. There you go. Oh, that is not Spartacus. There we go. Did you have a good time tonight, my friend?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had a freaking blast. It was awesome. And I want to give another shout out to you. I know I said this before we were live, but thank you for what you do for the At Games community and demonstrating what these machines can do and putting the word out. Like I said off stream, you got me back into pinball when I was kind of like thinking about selling, but thank you for doing what you do, and thanks for doing this show. Attack from Mars, not maybe top 5 for me. I think I overheard you guys talking. Monster Bash, Theater of Magic, probably my number 1 and 2s for pinball. This is probably a top 5, but they're just so, and that's when there's just so many out there, and they're releasing new tables all the time for this machine. But we got 6 tables last month. We got another 6 coming up. Like they're just recycling lots of new tables, so it just keeps it fresh. So I love that.
Great, I totally agree, and that it's just one of the things. It's like I totally get that question all the time of like, what is the best table? It's like, okay, it's like asking me what my favorite food is. I mean, it's different every day, but some of the tables are definitely echelon, like higher echelon, way levels above some of the others. And you got a table like you mentioned, Attack from Mars. Like this Attack from Mars and Medieval Madness, I put them in the same one. But you got Monster Bash, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Twilight Zone, Black Rose. I mean, you didn't just name them. They're great.
This whole era of Bally Williams
machines. And I'm glad that you can make it. Scoaljo, I think you were trying to talk there. Are you trying to talk?
I was just saying this whole era of.
Oh no!
Bally Williams machines.
AirPods turned off. There you go.
I was saying this whole era of Bally Williams machines are fantastic. And if you like Attack from Mars, if you like Medieval Madness, those were designed by Brian Eddy. He's done a lot of super cool games, The Shadow, Indiana Jones, and he just designed the brand new Dungeons and Dragons machine. So all of those machines are great. Anything, if you're just first getting into pinball, check out any of the Brian Eddy machines. They're going to be super cool and really accessible for you.
Absolutely. Well, one more time, I just want to thank every single one of y'all for coming on. You guys got open invites anytime. Nick's really glad you could make it. I really wanted to make sure we did this one because I know 125 billion. That's the bounty. That's the bounty, guys. Who's going to get 125
you gotta get into the zone.
on that freaking game? Amazing score. And you definitely showed tonight that you've got the ability. Nobody's questioning it. So thank you guys so much for coming on. And don't forget, just keep playing these games and having fun. This is all about having fun, guys. Next week, we're going to be doing that, I think, what is it called? Honor and Legacy or something. It's that new Zen pack. Whoever's going to come on the show, I don't know who's going to be on there yet, but we will get a panel and we will talk about those tables, and I'm going to try to play them and figure out how to play those for you. I think that comes out like Wednesday or something like that. I think so, but we will try our best. But that's what's on the plate for next time, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to go to all of these. Go to Nix, go to Spartycus, go to Scoaljo. Go to all their channels, leave a subscription, check out all their content, and hopefully I see you next time. Everybody have a good one. Thank you.
All right, later, everybody.
Thank you.